A big free agency signing finally happened yet again today with Jaire Alexander, and we got some updates with Shamir Stewart and Trey Hendrickson, and what are the Bengals going to be able to do. But first, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Tackle Talk Network. This is more specifically episode 21, and let's get right on into it. First things first, we got to cover a little Bengals drama because, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals do not like to pay their defensive players. I've said this over and over again. Just pay the man. But for once, for some good news, I'll start with the good news, and then we'll get to the bad news. But the good news for the Cincinnati Bengals is, according to sources, Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals have reopened contract negotiation conversations. This is fantastic news, and it seems like the Bengals are finally having a head on their shoulders when it comes to the Trey Hendrickson situation. Trey Hendrickson also spoke again with the media, saying, I hope to get a deal done. Let's go win a freaking Super Bowl. While I don't think it's in the cards for the Cincinnati Bengals to win a Super Bowl in the next couple of years, I do respect that they're actually apparently trying to work out a deal on their defense. Up next, a little update on Shamir. Now an update on the Shamir Stewart situation. The Bengals drafted him in this last year's draft with pick number 17 in hopes to bolster their defense, and probably in the hopes that they didn't have to pay Trey Hendrickson that much money and they could trade him and have Shamir Stewart on the defense. Well, there was a bit of a problem when it came to signing said rookie because he didn't like some of the contract language. To sum it up for you, basically, if he got in trouble or did something as a controversial media post, as little as that or as big as getting a DUI or getting arrested, he would automatically have all guaranteed money stripped away from him in his contract. That is the verbiage that he is not liking in said contract. Now, he is holding out of minicamp and is hoping to get that reworded, and it doesn't seem like that is happening. So there's a couple options that could happen on from here. Option number one, Shamir Stewart obviously could have that verbiage rearranged, or he could just accept the verbiage, which I wouldn't in that situation, but it's not me. It's Shamir's decision. He could accept said verbiage and sign with the team and go forward with that. If that does not happen, the Bengals have until training camp to trade Shamir Stewart to an available team that would gladly accept Shamir Stewart, and the top team interested in him at the current moment is none other than the NFC's very own 49ers. Now, that would be awesome trade for the 49ers. I think that they have the draft capital available to be able to do this, but we'll just have to see from there. Another option that Shamir Stewart could have is that he could hold out the entire 2025 season and re-enter the 2026 NFL draft and be redrafted by any team except for the Cincinnati Bengals. Keep in mind, this has never happened in NFL history. The last time in the current years that this has even gotten almost to this extent was Joey Bosa back in the day with the Chargers about 12 years ago. So this is kind of untampered and unmessed with territory that a lot of players really haven't gone through to do this. The only time I can ever think of a first-round rookie off the top of my mind that got traded to another team because he didn't like that team was the Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers situation. That happened a long time ago. Basically, the Chargers drafted Eli Manning, and the Giants drafted Phillip Rivers at 1 and 2. They flipped those picks, and there you go. Both quarterbacks got what they wanted, and I feel like both quarterbacks put up actually a really good career. Even though Phillip Rivers never won a Super Bowl, he put up a really respectable career, and he had 7 kids. Yeah, he had 7 kids. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of untampered territory with this Shamir Stewart situation. However, I feel like if he gets traded, that would be really good news, and I could basically keep you guys all tuned in on one entire episode the entire time. I'm so loving, aren't I? Up next, we have some Jaire Alexander news. Now, last week I talked about how he was released from the Packers and gave a little background on that, but I need to give a little bit more background so you guys can understand the story. Back in 2017, he was on his college team, which was the Louisville Cardinals. And you might be wondering, why is that important? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Then he moved on from the Louisville Cardinals and went to the NFL Draft in 2018, where he was selected in the first round at pick number 18 to none other than the Green Bay Packers. After putting up a couple of Pro Bowl seasons and one first-team All-Pro back in 2020, in 2021, his fifth-year option was exercised, which a fifth-year option is an option on the end of contracts for first-round draft picks that they have to basically give them an extra year for them to work out contract details before they become a free agent. Well, in 2022, he signed a 4-year, $84 million extension with the Green Bay Packers, solidifying him until the 2026 season, where he would become a 2027 free agent. Well, then they got into some issues because in 2023 and 2024, Jaire Alexander combined for those 2 years only played in 14 games. Also only playing in 7 games equal alike for 2023 and the 2024 season. So they had an all-pro corner, but they weren't getting all-pro production from the corner after that 2021 season because he was getting injured all the time. Really, it was after the 2022 season, because in 2023 and 2024 he got injured. Only played a total of 14 games, so there's a bit of a problem there. Obviously, if you're a Packers fan, you wish you could have kept him. He was a staple on your guys' team. I mean, he's a 7th, 8-year guy in the league now. He's been in the league since 2018. He's been there for a long time, and you wish you could have kept him. But sometimes that's just not how it rolls. With this being said, the reason it's so important is because there was one awesome man behind the entire thing, and it was Lamar Jackson. He was the front runner in the Ravens organization to get this man here and pay this man. So what exactly did he do? Well, because Lamar is a former teammate of Jaire Alexander from the University of Louisville. And that is awesome to see, because then Jaire Alexander signed a 1-year, $6 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens. And now the Baltimore Ravens have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They already had a really good defense last year, and now they're upping the ante with probably the best, not one, not two, but best trio of corners in the NFL this year. It's going to be quite interesting to see how the Ravens secondary plays out, especially with Jaire Alexander being the dog that he is. With that all being said, I'm glad that you guys tuned into another episode of the podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe, and please share it with your friends. I'm trying to grow this channel as fast as possible, so please hit that sub goal, brother. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get this bread together, and as always, I'll see ya next week.